Hey everybody, this is me, the Undead Viking. I want to talk to you about this game. It is called Gnomi. Now, Gnomi is a game for 2 to 6 people, and the game wraps up in about 10 minutes. And it is designed to be one of these quick little portable games that can be played anywhere, literally anywhere. You can be standing up and playing it because of the fact that you're going to be holding a certain number of cards in your hand, usually around 7 or 8, depending on the number of players, that are going to be gnomes and mushrooms. And as you play the game, you're going to be flipping those cards around in your hand. I'll show that when I show you how the game is played. And you're attempting to be the last person that has cards that haven't been flipped over. On your turn, you're basically going to be trying to steal other players' mushrooms, and you're going to be using the gnomes that you have to work together and use their actions to facilitate that end goal. Whoever is the last person that has cards still facing them, so their gnomes aren't sleeping and the mushrooms haven't been composted, will win the game. But let me show you how to play Gnomi. It shouldn't take very long at all. It is a very simple, straightforward game, but it has a lot of depth, and it is a very clever game and a lot of fun too. So here we go. I'll show you how to play. Alright, these are the 2 decks of cards you're going to have with Gnomi. You're going to have gnome cards, you're going to have mushroom cards. And to begin the game, depending on the number of players, you're going to deal a certain number of those cards to each person. So, for example, 2 players, you deal 4 gnomes and 5 mushrooms. 5 players, you deal 3 gnomes and 4 mushrooms. And 6 players, like 2 gnomes and 4 mushrooms. So let's say we're playing a 4-player game, we're going to give each player 3 gnomes and 4 mushrooms. So then you just go ahead and deal that out. So I'm just going to take 3 to show you a hand. And let's grab our 4 mushrooms. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, after everybody gets their cards, you throw the rest of the cards back into the box. You're not going to use them for that particular game. You, of course, will use them the next time you play. And then you look and see what you have. And so you're going to have your gnomes, which give you like a little power. So, like Finley the Collector, it says name a color, take all the mushrooms of that color for 1 player. Sven the Surveyor, each other player reveals a mushroom. You get to take 1 of those. And then Sophie the Rouser wakes up a gnome. I'm not saying, what is wake up a gnome? Well, when you use a gnome, you flip it over like so to show that he's sleeping in the corner. And also, if you look at the back of your hand, you'll see that it also shows sleeping once you do that. And that's to let people know how many cards you still have left that haven't been used. The reason that's important is once you've used up all the cards in your hand, you're out of the game. And you want to be the last person that still has active cards. So that's why like somebody like Sophie the Rouser is important. Also, like when you use mushroom actions, what you'll be doing is you'll flip that over like that, and that the little trash bin so that you've composted your mushroom. And once again, if you look at the back, you'll see that it shows that it's composted like so. So you'll either take one of your gnome actions, which you have, those 3 on the cards, the gnomes that you have, or you will take 1 of 2 mushroom actions. The first mushroom action you do is you take one of your mushrooms, you reveal it, and I should say, like I got lucky and I got a blue, purple, red, and white when I drew. There is a 5th color, which is orange, but you take one of your mushrooms and you reveal it, and you show it to everybody, hey look, I got a white mushroom. And then you turn it over like so, and then you pick 1 player, and if they have any white mushrooms, they have to give those to you. The other action that you can do, which obviously helps because you're taking mushrooms and you're strengthening your ability to stay alive. The other thing you can do is if you don't think you can pick a color that somebody has, because obviously if you reveal it, turn it over and nobody has that, you've kind of wasted it. You can take 2 of your mushrooms. First you reveal them, so like, hey look everybody, I got a red and white mushroom. And then you turn it over like so, and you'd have like those 2 composted, see, like so. But then you can go ahead and have like just you pick another player, and they all have their cards, facing away like so, and then you'd get to pick a mushroom from them at random. So you wouldn't know what color you're getting, but you could like, I'm going to take this one from somebody else's hand. You know that you have a purple, and then you just go ahead and put that back in your hand. Obviously, it didn't really work since I took it for myself, but you get the mission. You get the premise of it. So that's it. That's the entire game. You either take 1 of the 2 mushroom actions, or you take your gnome action, and you just try to make sure that you keep active cards in your hand longer than anybody else. Now, after you've determined the winner, there's one cool little thing. The winner, because presumably since this game takes like 5-10 minutes to play, the winner will get this card automatically the next time. It's the golden gnome, which is the king, and that allows you to peek at a gnome of somebody else's, a power they have, and you get to remind everybody else that you won the last game. I think that's kind of cool. I like games that give you little bragging rights like this, and I think that's kind of neat that they put that in there. So, and it gives you incentive, obviously, to win besides winning, because then you get this cool card. It looks, and it looks actually different on the back than everybody else's. So you can definitely, brag a bit when you put that into your hand. So there you go. That is how you play Gnomi. It's pretty straightforward, but it is one of those things with all the different powers of the gnomes that you have. It's like, Ava the planter, flip over 3 mushrooms in your compost and reveal them. So like you can like reset your mushrooms. Like Hans the destroyer, name a color. Each player flips their mushrooms of that color. So there's tons of different little like powers and abilities of all those little gnomes. And once you kind of learn that, you kind of learn the synergies between the gnome powers and what they can do and how they can keep your hands alive. The game then like, you peel the onion and you start seeing just how deep and complex the game is, even with the very simple rule set that it has. So there you go. That's Gnomi. I really dig this game. I've had a lot of fun with it because obviously it's very portable. You can play it pretty much anywhere. I've played it waiting in line at a concert before. I've played it in a movie theater. All kinds of places like that. But let me tell you more about why I dig it in my conclusion. Alright, thanks for taking the time to learn how to play Gnomi. It didn't take very long. There's basically 2 rules to it. You either use a mushroom one of 2 ways. I guess 3 rules. You use a mushroom one of 2 ways, or you use your gnome and just follow what the gnome tells you to do. But belying that simple rule set is actually this very, very deep game. And also is fantastically played at all levels. I played it with 6, which is a lot of fun just because of the chaos of it, and the fact that you're just kind of like hunting and pecking and trying to find the different people and the different mushrooms that people are holding. Because of the fact that if I trade, if I have to give up my mushrooms to Brian for whatever reason, I have to make sure that as I watch Brian, who he hands them off. Did he hand those mushrooms off to Steve, or did he hand them to Mary? And like, what did Mary do with her mushrooms, and what have you? But when you shorten the number, like get down to 3 or even 2, the game kind of changes a little bit. It becomes instead of like it loses a little bit of the chaos and becomes very tactical and like very especially with 2, because of the fact that you know where the other cards are. You know what mushrooms are out there and what's being messed with, and so then it becomes an economy of actions type of situation where you got to make sure that on your turn you're using the gnome special powers that you got to the best of their ability, and making sure that like you're setting yourself up for a turn that will give you that win. And so it's kind of neat that like because also the big choice also obviously is that when you use a gnome action, and gnome actions, like I said, are very, very specific, and you don't get a lot of them because the number of gnomes, even with, if I remember correctly, I mean like with 6 players you only get 2 gnomes. According to, with this. And when you only have 2 of those special actions, you got to make sure that you don't waste them. You got to make sure you know where those mushrooms are and where you can find them. And so especially it's like, oh, pick a person and say, hey, give me your purple mushrooms. If they don't have any, you're like, well, I wasted that. So the game kind of has 2 phases where it's the search for knowledge, retaining that knowledge, and then starting to use your abilities to facilitate the win. And I enjoy that little ebb and flow. And the fact that it only takes about 10 minutes to play, regardless of the number of players, is a great selling point to the fact that you can play multiple games and, of course, get to claim this super cool king of the gnomes, if you will. So, there you go. That is Gnomi. I've had a lot of fun with it. I think if you like these quick little card games with this, quick little theme, I think you'll enjoy it a great deal. If you have any questions about the game itself, by all means, ask away. I'll try to answer those to the best of my ability. As always, I greatly appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. And until next time, I am the Undead Viking, and I'm telling you to have yourself one heck of an awesome day. Alright, bye-bye.